Here at SIPA, the Masters of Public Administration Development Practice students are not only building up their knowledge of issues in sustainable development, they're also building toolkits of needed skills for use in the development field. These skills are what take the development practice curriculum beyond theory into practice, learned at a skills workshop series that we call the Development Practice Lab.
I think the value of DP Lab for me is putting many of the development tools I've seen in the field under like an academic lens.
DP Lab is taking hard practical skills to the field so we can implement projects effectively, fairly, and with quality.
The benefit of it is that every week we get a different topic, and so it's a snapshot and a tool belt and a toolkit to develop our skills.
I think that the value of the DP Lab is that basically you're learning practical skills that you normally wouldn't learn at other theory-based programs. In undergrad, I learned a lot of theory and not so much hard and soft skills to do the work in the field. And coming from significant work experience where I know how useful these skills are, DP Lab really provides us with those skills that you can be effective practitioners.
The Development Practice Lab, or the DP Lab, is an effort by the MPADP program here at SIPA to methodologically deliver hands-on training for high-priority skills in the field of development practice, but also an effort to integrate its curriculum across different disciplines offering the program. So in each semester, for example, the lab focused on a different competency, complementing the knowledge learned in other sector-based program core courses. The 4 core competencies as framed by the DP Lab are problem appraisal, program design, implementation, and monitoring and evaluation.
To tackle Benin's community health worker campaign, we start with desk research and reaching out to contacts in the field, establishing a base knowledge of the 4 pillars of Benin society: political, economic, social, and environmental. I came to SIPA after founding an NGO and spending 5 years in Tanzania implementing programs. DP Lab really taught me the formal tools that I can use to identify those problems, work through the causes and effects of them, and create stakeholder matrices that will allow me and help me to continue doing that work in my career.
So for the Benin project, we identified the 3 M's: malaria, malnutrition, and maternal and infant health. And through that, we used the log frame analysis to outline both our long-term impact and then also the activities, outputs, and outcomes associated with those long-term impacts. We additionally used that information to build out our M&E and also our management structure.
I have an economic and development research background, and with the logical framework analysis, I was able sort of to connect the dots between that and using it as a tool to verify information. So it teaches how to relate outcomes, outputs, activities, and indicators with these sources. I think that it's very important because it allows us for monitoring and evaluation of all the programs.
Coming from the private sector and social enterprise background, budgeting wasn't new to me. Cost-benefit analysis was a tool I'd used before, but using it in this framework for governments choosing between policy interventions that would be helping people on the ground was both a challenge and really a benefit to me moving forward.
So when we were trying to fully understand what we were faced with when trying to scale up our community health project in Benin, it was essential to try and understand what was existing on the ground. And what GIS does is it helps us to know what's on the ground so we can actually match existing infrastructure, road networks, as well as existing health clinics to what our needs will be, given what we're trying to accomplish with the community health project. Prior to coming to Colombia, I worked at the Ministry of Finance in South Africa. And working as an economist, you're often just faced with macroeconomic data and you just look at big numbers with big overhead impacts. GIS, I believe, will help me in the future by helping me to understand better where the targeted impacts are going to be of certain policy changes. So looking at the North versus the South, looking at regional differences. I think GIS will definitely be a skill that I can use to better understand impacts of proposed policy changes.
I'm a returned Peace Corps volunteer. I served for 2 years in a rural community in Peru, and I worked on rural community health promotion. And so from that, I got firsthand experience about program development and working with beneficiaries and taking a project from start to finish. But part of that is I was expected to do monitoring and evaluation of our projects. And although we got some basic training in Peace Corps, I think that doing a really great M&E requires more sophisticated skill sets, which I really learned here through the DP lab at Columbia.
Armed with these techniques in appraisal, design, management, and evaluation, students bring organization, depth, and practicality to country casework in their classes, their summer field placements, and the world beyond.